Have you been involved in a Stinger or Bulldog accident? Well, you may be entitled to know the reason why you got destroyed by a Stinger or a Bulldog. And it's time to use it against them because the Stinger meta is taking over. Do you want to start one-bursting people with a weapon that costs 950? Or do you want to start acing with a weapon that costs 2,100? Well, here's why the Stinger and Bulldog are taking over in Valorant and how you can use it to your advantage. Recently, a well-known face in the Valorant community, Lothar, did in fact discover a brand new game-breaking mechanic. Let's just hope it doesn't get patched. This right here is what the Stinger will normally look like when you use it. However, this right here is what my Stinger looks like. This is what the Bulldog looks like for you, and this is my Bulldog. No, not the dog, the weapon. And even someone like Tenz feels as if this is going to get nerfed or fixed in the next patch. That is how broken it is. So how do you actually upgrade your Stinger and Bulldog to get this type of level? So first off, you want to press Ctrl-Alt-Delete on your keyboard. Then you're going to have to make sure you use code MatchPoint in the Epic Games Store. And after that, you're going to go ahead and press Alt F4 when you open Valorant, and then restart your PC 2 times. By 10,000 V-Bucks... I'm joking. All you have to do is go into your settings, go over to equipment, and you want to go over to controls. When you're here, you want to be looking at this setting right here. You want to change it from right click to left click. It essentially inverses all your controls, but be careful because if you're playing someone like Raze and you decide to throw a grenade, it's going to do an underarm throw only when you try to throw it, so you're going to have to watch out for that. What this essentially does is it buffs the Stinger and the Bulldog in an absolutely insane way. Now, you can probably initially see that it looks 10 times better than what it was before, but there's a real key here to using it properly and when you should be using it. There's a massive advantage that you don't know about that it does have that requires a special technique to go with it. You can peek angles while moving with the Bulldog and Stinger using this mechanic with virtually no recoil punishment from it. For example, right now when I usually peek a corner and I'm moving, I'm not counter-strafing or anything, I'm just moving left and right with the Phantom. As you can see, I get punished by the recoil because I'm moving. However, with the Stinger and the Bulldog, this is not the case. Now, before I explain this, there's one more key setting to have. Make sure you have your regular fire on the right button so you can still manually and normally fire, which gives you the best of both worlds because it is extremely OP in the majority of circumstances. And you also won't be able to use snipers when you are going to be picking up this weapon, so you'll have to watch out for that. The main basis behind it is you want to be peeking a corner very quickly. If you're using the Stinger and the Bulldog, it has a massive advantage naturally in general, but you also have a massive advantage when you're moving left and right. If you're jiggle peeking on a corner, trying to get an angle onto someone, for example on long, you can very easily do this with the Bulldog and Stinger, peek around the corner, giving you the advantage of having the movement, being a harder target to hit, but at the same time you're still getting accurate shots off that are dealing damage. It will look a little something like this and is extremely OP to use at medium distances, short distances, long distances. They both work great. Obviously, the Bulldog is quite a strong weapon naturally anyways. The Stinger isn't the best, but with this, it becomes incredible. It is a giant buff to them. With the Stinger, you want to be going for body shots at the top chest area because that's where it's going to do most of its damage consistently. With the Bulldog, headshots are the best. Headshots still work great with the Stinger, don't get me wrong, but ideally the chest is the more consistent area for your damage. And if you're still not convinced on why the Stinger and Bulldog are taking over, remember the Stinger costs 950, it's cheaper than the Spectre, so on a half-buy round you're having a better weapon than the Spectre, and something that is also going to be a lot cheaper than it too. The Bulldog again is 2,100. On those half-buy rounds, you're going to be looking very good. It's changed a lot to the point where sometimes I'm actually excited to go into a half-buy round because I know I can turn up with that Stinger. And especially on an eco round for the very first round, if you win it, you then go onto a half-buy round, you can pick up the Stinger and start destroying and leave money left over because it's so cheap. Remember that weapons such as a Phantom and Vandal cost 2,900. However, this is very cheap indeed. It's also very important with your playstyle. You have to know how to use it. You have to know where it's best to use it. The Bulldog is extremely good at most ranges, long ranges and mid ranges, but remember you're always going to have that advantage if you're taking it at a long range engagement or a medium range engagement, because you can peek at angles side to side, whereas when you're usually closer to them, it's going to be a one-on-one gunfight in the open. So when you're about to go on a half-buy round next time, think, oh, I'm excited for this. MatchPoint's taught me a nice little technique that's going to make some enemies rage. And enemies raging in text chat, they doesn't get much better than that. Thank you for watching. You now know everything that you need to know about the Stinger and the Bulldog. Be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if it did help you out. For more tips and tricks videos like this, click on the video on your screen right now if you want to see every Viper lineup for every single map and site. And I do stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 6:30 PM BST. So if you got any questions, ask me them when I'm live. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out.